solely because I've got an awful lot of work to do, so I figured I'd join. You could just sort of tag along, say hi in the comments. Chances I won't be able to reply because I am working away in the reptile room. We've got a load of misting to do and fog systems to do, and just got loads of bits and pieces to do in the reptile room. And this is just a live feed, so I will be chatting along the way. But that's about it really. So I hope you're all well anyway. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes that not a lot of people actually realise. So we're sort of just going through and doing it. So at the minute, I'm just going to fill the water up and fill it up into that jug just there because everything needs misting. So I'm going to be here and there. Believe it or not, we actually do go through around about 4 litres of water every day in the reptile room. Now that's not just with the animals, that's with the plants as well. And but like I said, this is just a live feed inside the reptile room for the next few hours, I guess. I'll tell you what else I've got to do as well. My big chameleon setup, the big green tree python setup, I've got a bit of work to do in there as well because one of the plants hasn't done well in there. So I've got to get that out and put something different in its place. I think I know what I'm going to do in there, but we'll do that probably pretty early on, to be fair. I have no idea what this live stream is actually going to be like, how entertaining it's going to be, or if even people are actually going to stay. Like I say, it's just a live stream from inside the room. You'll see me potter around. I may make a few videos. If I get a random TikTok idea, you might see that actually happen. We'll see. It's just... Oh, one of my tarantulas didn't like that bang just then. What do you think of this for a big spray bottle? How massive is that? This holds 5 litres of water. It's... I'll show you. Got to tighten it on. It's pump action with one of the best thing I've ever got by far. 3 pumps, I'll go for 4, and it just works. I like this one because my misting system on the morning geckos can't get much water into the bromeliads, so this just gets a bit of water where it doesn't normally get to. I can get the substrate nice and wet because this big morning gecko setup, it has a lot of water go through it. It's got the fog system rigged up to it as well, but because it's so grown in, the water doesn't tend to get to the substrate too well, so I just give it a good mist down. I just go around and mist everything all the time. I have to check where Mushu is because he's so skittish, it's unreal. But he needs a good mist down. Oh, there we go. I like to add a load more water around the sort of hot side of his enclosure, solely because that's going to be the part that evaporates the soonest. Nothing's getting fed today because we've already fed the majority of the daily animals that need to be fed. I might mix up some crested gecko diet for the morning geckos and the Chinese house gecko. We've got some cleaning to do in here and just loads and loads of bits and pieces. Like I said, we've got a couple of hours worth of work, so we'll go through and just sort of plod about. I've got the water dishes to do, and yeah, just got loads and loads of bits. Fill up the water bowls. You know, the normal sort of stuff that you do in a reptile room. Just loads and loads of work. I've got to water all the plants as well. I do some water bowls, misting. I probably do some, well, no, I have got some work to do in that big enclosure. That'd be quite fun. I've got to rip out a plant. How is everyone today anyway? I hope you're all doing well. It's a fine Tuesday morning here. It's a late sort of live stream. It's about 10:30 here in the UK. Where is it where you are? I'll get a bit more water in his water bowl. I've been out this morning, done the school run, had a nice walk, got my daily steps in already. So now it's just work time. Tarantula. Brachypalma, oh not the brachypalma, the Tilitli catalawi blossom. That needs a bit of water in the water dish. And the plant spraying. There we go. There we go. I will do that one later, solely because I need to get in there and do some work anyway. Let's have a look at some of the comments, just see who's here, who's hit the thumbs up button, you know, the normal sort of stuff. I'm going to actually move this around so I can see it a bit better. Oswestry, that's where I got my first ever morning geckos from. Shropshire, Queen Emmy, there we go, Shropshire. I love Shropshire. And that sort of, the Welsh borders around that sort of area, beautiful, Llangollen and stuff like that. Yeah. Wortho in Kent, UK. Oh, Wortho's got a leopard gecko. Have you got a morph on that leopard gecko? I'm a big advocate for normal leopard geckos. Oh, so what's everyone's plans for today? You've got anything nice planned? I think I've got all my work to do in the reptile room. Then I'm potentially going to go to the gym and then head off to work tonight. Cumbria, up in the Lake District. Oil slick. I love the lakes. I've got so much stuff that I want to explore up in the lakes. I think my next big adventure, to be fair, I'm a big sucker for just going for a random drive up to Bowness and just having a look around the lake middle of the night. I want to get that photograph over the lake of the flat, calm Lake Windermere with the star reflection off it. No clouds in the sky, moon at minimum crest, and just the star reflection over. That'd just be an amazing photo. Oh, I want to go there now. I'm so impulsive at the minute. I don't know why. I've got some plants to water behind you. That's why I'm looking here like this. Oh. I've got that many plants that I'm trying to grow to go into enclosures in the future. It's unreal. But yet, the thing is, they're all tropical species, and my next enclosure build isn't a tropical build. Always the case, isn't it? They will come in handy one day. Then again, that big cheese plant over the back, that was growing to go into that enclosure, and it never actually went in there. That's just going to be a sort of pet plant now, a house plant that's going to be around the reptile room. Improve the air quality inside the reptile room. That'll do. Well, some pretty good plants actually growing nicely at the minute. Right, I've got that one up there, turtles. This one up here. I may as well get all the plants watered while I'm in here as well with the water. This one up here. The frogs can have a bit of water. What do you want, Muddy? No, you've got water. You've not got water though. I'll give you some water. That's the scorpion, the Scott's Inverse Revenge Scorpion. Chances are that scorpion will be out. So always comes out in the morning just for a couple of hours. Ace and Marnie's done. Oh, this one up here, the millipede setup. I really want to do an invertebrate communal setup. A few different species of invertebrate, but I don't actually know what. I want to try and stay away from African land snails just because I don't have much knowledge on them. But I'm thinking a variety of beetles, grubs, worms, woodlice, millipedes. I don't know, just a variety. Let it get all overgrown. Yeah, that sounds like a plan to me. Right, have I finished watering? Yes, for now. For now. Right, I've got that one to sort out now. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Oh. Ah. Hiya, Danny Hick. Normal morph leopard gecko from Wortho. I think I'm saying your name right. I prefer the Norfals, the normal leopard geckos. It's just how they were supposed to come out in the wild. Hello from Denmark. Hi, howdy from the UK. Ornate Nile monitor enclosure. I'm not too clued up on the ornate monitors. too much. If I'm correct, they're quite a large species, so it'll be interesting to see what you come up with on them. I got to clean out 6 vivs and then sort out the cats, the kittens. Oh, it's fading off. Pick up the kids, do the dinner at the house. Yeah, that's a busy day. I think I've just got a bit of cleaning to do in here, just a bit of plodding about. Been out, done the school run. Went for a walk just to build up my steps, because sitting, my life is sat here filming and working away in the reptile room and then going to work and sitting there driving a bus all the time. So I don't actually get my steps up. So it's just, I need to get out every day to sort of do my daily steps. But I've got the similar sort of thing to do as well. I think after I've done this, I'm going to the gym, then I'm going to head off to work for the night. So all the power to you for all that sort of stuff you've got to do. What snakes do I have? Right, in that one just there, we've got a angry boa constrictor. She just likes the taste of me. She got the taste of me once, and that's it. She's addicted to eating me now. Down in that one just there, we've got a royal python, and in the big 6-foot enclosure in the living room, we've got a fairly big Carl Sunglow albino boa constrictor, popcorn. Doug, he's got a Nile, a bearded dragon. Used to have corns, scorpions, but downsized. Going to be getting some fire-bellied toads. Oh, I tell you, somebody who's got a nice video on fire-bellied toads. Tanner from Serpa Designs. He's got a nice one. Bioactive for leopard geckos is such a volatile subject. Me, I'm all for it. But there's so many people out there on the Facebook groups mainly that will slate you for every little detail. Do you use wood lice in your wooden vivarium? I'm worried in case they start to eat it. I've sealed that wooden enclosure. That one just up there, I fully sealed it. Siliconed all around the bottom, and then I covered it in like a pond sealer all up the side and down the bottom. And it seems to be doing just well. I mean, that's been like that now for 2 years. Never had a problem with it. However, that one just there, that's going to be going soon. Just because that enclosure is falling apart, but it's a 14-year-old enclosure, so it's just sort of, it's at its last legs. But we're changing that out for a 4-foot enclosure. It's going to be stacked up over there behind us, and it's going to be for the royal python. So we're going to do a full naturalistic, give it some climbing space. It's going to look absolutely amazing when that's done. Tarantula. I've got a few tarantulas. Tilitli cattle albicolosum, Tilitli cattle verdesi, Lasiodorus parabana, and an A. samani. I don't know what the A stands for. I can't say it. I'm just sort of building up my knowledge on all that sort of stuff to do with tarantulas. Basically, in my knowledge, we've got a curly hair rip-off, salmon pig bird eater, and a big zebra thing that wants to eat me. That's my knowledge with tarantulas. 30 royals, 10 leopard geckos, 4 beardies, 10 corns, and 4 retics. Holy cow. Holy cow. I had a retic poo on me once. That wasn't a nice event. We went out to a sort of a day trip out with my son to a farm, and one of my friends was doing the big reptile show there, and he was telling me to come up and hold the snake. So I went up and held it, showing it all off and everything, and then just decided to poo on the back of my head and all the way down my back. That was a big poo. A big poo. Blackpool's reptile room. I've not been there before. I was dying on going there a few years ago, and I've never really heard anything from there since. I'll have to take a nip up there, because I mean, Blackpool's only an hour up the road from me, so it's not really the end of the world. I drive that far just to go to the beach. Oh god. Right. Next one. What do I need to do? Water bowl. I'll clear out Charlie's water bowl because that needs doing. Charlie, I'm coming to get your water bowl. Don't eat me. Yeah, this definitely needs a good scrub because it's minging. God, I sounded like cringed when I said that word. Oh. Right, where's the water? Don't you hate it where if you've got a reptile room and loads of reptiles, you've always got that one thing that you keep putting down somewhere and you can never actually remember where you put it down? That's the same with my reptile disinfectant. Every time I forget where I put it. I just now know that it's going to be over there somewhere, but where? Who knows? God, this is a bit... I should have cleaned this. Do you know what? Let's have a look. I'm going to be a man. I'm not going to bother cleaning that one just yet. I'm just going to give him a new one. Oh. See what I mean? A clean water dish. Always give it a Reptile disinfectant because it's always dirtier than you actually think. Oh God, we've got 12 viewers. If you're here, just hit the thumbs up button. It just helps out a little bit. Why not? Yeah, Spider Shop UK are one of the biggest suppliers of tarantulas now. The amount of people that they do mystery boxes as well, where you can like pay 60 quid and just get whatever comes in the box. You always get more than what you actually pay for, but you don't know what you're going to get, and that scares me. I like to be in control a little bit more than that. What more's my royal? Super pastel yellow belly royal python. I'll get him out. What I'll do, I'll put the water bottle back in first. Charlie, everyone wants to say hi to you, mate. You coming out? Where's your head? Coming out, buddy. Ah. Come on, mate. Everyone wants to say hi to you. Put your hide back in. Oh. There's my royal. Charlie, my super pastel yellow belly royal python. Do you know why he's called Charlie? Let's see if I can find it. He's got the letter C on his pattern. That is Charlie. He's absolutely amazing. However, he missed his last meal. That's the first meal he's ever missed, isn't it, mate? You're going to go back in and say hi to your hide. Sorry for waking you up just to show everybody, but you're a special guy. Alright, I'll fill up your water dish while I'm here, mate. There you are, buddy. Have fun. Oh. Don't you hate it where you're doing your work in your reptile room and your work just piles up a little bit more? So now I've done that, but I've got a load of stuff there I've got to clean out. Yeah. The one that wants to eat me the most is her, Rosie. Every time I go near her enclosure, she's just so very defensive. She just wants to eat me. But she is what she is. She sort of got her personality and we love her for that. What have you just ordered from the Spider Shop UK oil slick? I'm keen to know. You've probably told me. I'm just scrolling down the comments and I haven't seen it yet. 20 gallons, not too big for a tarantula. I would assume a 20 gallon is the same size as that one just there. Let's say 45 centimetre wide, 45 centimetre deep, 30 centimetre tall. And I've got a tarantula in there. And to be fair, she was actually out and about a minute ago. So let's see if she still is out. I'll take you up there and you can have a look. Because you can always deck if the enclosure is too big, just deck it out with the core. Stick a couple of hides in so they have more space to actually find stuff. Stick some branches in, some enrichment so they can climb over. Make the entrance to the hole really big because then they have the enrichment of getting all the substrate out of the hide and slowly blocking up the hide to make it the hole perfectly sized for them. There he is. Asiodorus parabana, salmon pink bird eater. Remember how I said they take the soil out of the hide and just dumped it on the plant just there. We've got all the rock work over the back, rock work there, the water bowls just down there. But again, this is fully bioactive, fully naturalistic. And yeah, it works. She loves it anyway. That's her. The Asamani. I really need to do the hide up in this one. I do the whole enclosure up in this one. It's a few years old. But there she is just there. Leek Alawi Blossom. Again, see how she's burrowed out all the substrate just to block off the hide ever so slightly. And the Fidesi is in that little cup just there. This is Wish. There he is. Chinese house gecko. Came to the UK in a shipment of food. We're told, you've got to keep him, otherwise we'll destroy him. So that's what I've done. Oh, look at that, straight onto his water bowl. Hello, mate. You doing okay today, buddy? Where's the angry girl? Oh, she's hiding away down there. So, right, I'll get onto that actually. Because I do need to do some work on that enclosure, which I'm not really... I'm sort of like, I don't want to do it because it's admitting that what I did to start with was a failure, so to speak. Right, let's have a look. So, I'll get me seat, because I need my seat, because I'm a lazy. And I'll get me a little tub, because that's got a load of rubbish and stuff in it that I'm going to need. And, what shall I put in place? So, right, let me explain. Why what I've done is not ideal in here. Now, obviously, I've cut off. See how I had the mesh screen? I've actually cut it off, so it is just solid glass. 6mm thick laminated glass through there now. The hinges, if you saw that TikTok video, the hinges actually did work for the door. But this is so far all growing in really nicely. All that weeping dew plant, I mean, it comes all the way through the bottom here, out here, up there, and it's just really bushy to the point where I'm probably going to either have to trim it or adjust it to go a different way, because there is a bromeliad under there that has got a pup that needs to get a bit more light than, yeah. Over here, now we've got this bromeliad. It's got a pup growing just there. It's got a pup growing just there, and it's got a little one over the back just there, but there's another one down there. But what's gone wrong in this, I mean, just look at it all down here as well. This wasn't actually meant to look like this. This was sort of, we'll get to it eventually and just make up some sort of, see what we can come up with. And I just ended up putting a few plants in there just to sort of, I needed to put some plants somewhere, and this was available, so we've done it. And yeah, it worked perfectly well. Even that weeping dew just plonked in there is working perfectly fine. That weeping dew's really thriving. I mean, it's come all the way up here. But we have got a little problem now. I have got a plant in here that's died. So I need to get that plant out and try and think of something I want to put in there. Now, can you see that teardrop plant at the back corner? That's getting a little overgrown. So I pinched a bit off and I put it there, and that's actually thriving there. So I might do the exact same just there, because it'll be nice if that plant up the back corner can actually go here and start traipsing down the enclosure. Let me just spin you back around. There we go. So that's the sort of plan on it anyway. We'll go down there, but this is why you need to sort of give your enclosures that little bit of extra time to sort of settle in before the animal actually goes in. Here's a little teaser for you. I went to actually check on the animal, because the animal's in quarantine, but it's not in quarantine here. It's in quarantine somewhere else. And so I went to check on him today. Now, my quarantine, I want that animal to have a couple of feeds and a couple of sheds before I even feel it's safe to bring him into my collection. Even though it is one of the prized possessions in this collection, I still want it to be safe to come here. So it's had its shed, it's had 2 meals, but I'm just waiting for another shed, and then I'll be able to get it. And I went and checked on him today, and he's looking great. He's not looking like he's going to go into shed anytime soon, but he's definitely looking there. Now, what am I going to do with all this rotten plant matter? It's not rotten, it's just slightly dead. And there's some alive bits left on it. I'm just going to literally take it all apart and drop it into the substrate layers, because this will be a microbiotic matter for the cleanup crew to clear up and refertilise the soil and the substrate. And plus, if that starts growing down the bottom again, that would just help it look a little bit nicer, in my opinion anyway. So there's a bit more root system from it. I'm just going to turn all that over, get a bit more down there, and then simply go up the top corner here and pinch some of this off. Quite a bit actually, because I want a bit of growth. There we go. Just pinched a bit off, got some root layers there. I'm just basically going to lay it down on here, and the plant itself will start to root into the soil that's there. So we've got a couple of weeks before the animal actually is going to come. It has got light hitting it down there, but not too much. So I don't know how well it's going to do, but we're going to just keep an eye on it and watch it and see what happens. I'm going to readjust this because it is going a bit out of control and a bit wild, and raise it down there a little bit. There we go. And hopefully that'll trail down that enclosure and underneath there as well. So that's it looks so sad now. I've took a chunk off it, but it will do well in the long run. Let's give it a bit of, actually I'll give the water a bit later. What do I want to do now? I want to clear some of this, or rearrange some of this, solely because it's getting a bit wild. Oh no, I don't need to actually, because that pup's coming up for the light. So I'll drop that there. I'll drop this one over there. Try and get it to trail up the back end of this log just here, so that it's all going to come up here and then overgrow over to here eventually. To be fair, if I can tuck that one just there, that's possibly... no, I've got this one here. What can I do with this one? Just there. If I can trail that one there, that'll look quite nice. So with that one, if I trail that one up there. So this is just me putting it into place, because eventually it will grow to where I want it to go if I start training it where to go from the start. And I'm happy with that. Am I happy with that? Yeah, I'll give it a water. Actually, I'll show you guys first, because obviously you can't really get a good look while you're sat there, can you? There we go. So I've took some off that teardrop plant up the top there, and I've just dropped it in there. I've moved some of the weeping dew, so that little bromeliad is now popping through. That's the pup of the mother. The mother is underneath there. But I've trailed all the bits along here and along here. So hopefully they will grow up to here with this one just here. And I've put some over the back there. So hopefully we'll get some that are trailing, that will trail all the way up here. Now, the reason that one's sticking straight up is solely because we've got plant grow lights directly above it. What's in that little pot there? It's just a plant that I'm growing that could do with a bit more light than what I actually gave it. So I just dropped it there for now. So far, this enclosure is coming together. Like I say, this is one of the reasons why you do want to sort of give your enclosures time to settle in, and not just give it a week to settle in. Give it a good month or so to actually settle in. And yeah, it does work. I'm going to give this enclosure a good water now. Get some moisture back in that substrate. Actually, no, I'll tell you what I want to do first. Leaf litter. Now, I have got a cleanup crew in here, but it's not thriving massively. So I'm going to add some leaf litter into the bottom of it, just to help the cleanup crew re-fertilise the substrate. What leaf litter have I got? Catappa leaves. Hard to come by, but I've had these for a while now, back from my dart frog days. So I'm just going to grab that and just sort of crunch it all up, lay it around the substrate. I've got a fair few here, so I can use all the leaves in this enclosure. And then I'm even going to add in some more springtails. There we go. And this one. Shall I add my millipede into here? No, that might irritate the snake, or the snake might try and eat it. And plus they come from two different places anyway. Well, that's looking nice and natural already. Get that piece down the back. I assume in this enclosure a lot of the cleanup crew is going to hang around the rock area. Solely because, that rock area, I love it. Mostly for the story behind it, because of where I got it. If you didn't see that video, I climbed Mount Snowdon and I picked them up at the top of there. Christ, I thought my climb was over when I got to the top of Mount Snowdon, and then I realised, crap, I'm going to have to come back down the mountain with all that in my bag. It was worth it though, wow worth it. If you ever get a chance to go and climb Mount Snowdon, do it. Last leaf, it's looking nice. Put a bit there, a bit more there, and there's last bit down there. So there we go. Instantly, it just looks a lot better, massively better. I've got my 2 springtail colonies. Which one's the best? This one. Now, if I open it inside the enclosure, and the way to get it out, the way to get the springtails out is just add a bit of water, and the springtails float. And then just simply pour a load in there. I poured a bit too much out, so I'll put a bit more water in there. Shut that off. And then put that back on the shelf to keep reproducing. So I've still got some left in there, and they're just going to keep reproducing. I'll put them back while I remember. Now, let me... Time to mist the enclosure down. Give this one up here a good water. Fill up the bromeliads. Fill up these bromeliads now. I can get some good water to them. This one at the back. This is for a green tree python. We've got a green tree python, a Bioactive cross surround green tree python. So we do want to add in one more stick just to get to this branch here. So from the floor to this branch, we've got this one and we've got this one. But if I can add something from there down to here, because I mean we've got the moss down here, we've got all the rock work over there. So we've got all the different textures and stuff like that. Just be nice to be able to get him so we can easily get to the top and to the bottom. We've got the thermostat probe on this perch just here, solely because that's one of the thinnest perches and they do like a thin perch. We've also got this perch just here for him, and we've got one down here if he wants to get out of the light and away from the heat. I am thinking of trying to find a naturalistic way to actually get some more perches in there, but we'll see. Oh, let's have a look. I almost forgot the new plant that I've planted. Be interesting to see that bloom up. I just gave it a really heavy water, so it should do quite well. It's nice to see that this enclosure goes through time and time again, just constant. Oh, there we go. It's nice to see this enclosure go through loads of water all the time, and the background's still holding up nicely. Everything's just doing really, really well. I want to get a load of water in the substrate layers and around the moss, just to help that the leaf litter degrade down a little bit, biodegrade. There we go. I think that is done. And to be even more stricter, now I've got a fog system built in with this enclosure. It's not going to be there when the animal goes in, just solely because it can cause respiratory issues. So I'm just going to turn that on while the plants are in there, just to keep the humidity up within the plants for the next few hours, and just leave it to sort of wind up. What is the problem with this glass door? Now, when I built the whole enclosure, I built it without the front on, so it's been built slightly skew with, just a little bit. So if you have a look up here, the door doesn't actually, I have to jiggle it around to get the door to slot into place. Oh, there we go. And then I have to push this side of the enclosure. It's just, the enclosure is not made to be sustainable for the weight of this glass, because it is a heavy piece of glass. And it just looks nice with that fog going in. I love it. It's a shame I can't use the fog in the actual, with the animal, but I mean, I might be able to do it just to sort of stick, if the animal's up the top, just to stick it so it rehydrates the soil. Just stick it on a low setting so it doesn't come up here like it is. I don't know. It's just something I'm worth thinking about, sort of thing. Right, what's the next job I've got to do? There's that many jobs. It's just a case of see what's what, really. Let's have a look at some of the comments while we're having a nosy. Are we not allowed to take things from the ecology forest or anything? I don't know what that's referring to. Probably a comment previously. I was forbidden to collect bark or moss in Belgium. Wow. Queen's got a clown ball python clutch. Ooh. Clowns are becoming... Oh, God, this is fogged up well. Clowns are becoming a lot more popular these days, aren't they? I must admit, I am a lover of all things natural. So, natural colorations. Millions of critters. Hey, princess. For anyone who don't know, princess is something that Scott's Invert's doing for me. But while we're here, I could do with ideas on how to get Scott back. And I don't know yet. I'll come up with some ideas, but I'm still not 100% sure on what to actually do to him yet. I'll think of something though. I want to try and find out over the next month or so what he's scared of and do that. Yeah, Doug prefers natural colorations on animals as well. That is amazing. That just looks nice, doesn't it? So you can get the full aspect of it. The thing that's iffy with this is the background on that side doesn't actually come to the front of the enclosure. It starts about here and goes towards the sort of up. So you can see a bit of the mist actually pouring out of that side panel, but it does look nice. I like it. Paper flying butterflies. That's not a bad idea. Ooh, I like to go over the top and do something myself. So sort of, what can I do to get him? And put the effort into doing that, because it's just more meaningful, I think, anyway. It is what it is, I guess. I've got that much to do, but not actually that much to do right this second. Check this out. He was just he's just had his head in the water having a drink. My ball python is so active, it's unbelievable. There's my royal python, stepsis Lana. Stepsis Lana. I wonder why you've called that. There's my royal python, super pastel yellow belly royal python. The green cheek python's coming in around about 2, maybe 3 weeks. We're just waiting for another shed. And then as soon as that animal's shed out, we're going to give him 2 days, and then he's going to come over here. There's my dubios over there in that colony. Yeah. So we do have a lot to sort of... I'm just putting you back on there. Yeah, I've got so much to do and no energy to actually do anything. Yep, that's one of the next builds. That enclosure is not good in my eyes. It's a standard enclosure, but it's nothing compared to some of my others. So he's getting a 4-foot viv. I'm really putting some effort into trying to find a taller 4-foot viv, so I can make a little bit of arboreal sort of areas for him, solely because I want to try and myth bust the fact that royal pythons do actually climb, because I've seen them in naturalistic setups where they have been climbing up to the light and stuff like that. So it's something that I want to play around with. The problem I've got with UV lighting for royal pythons is, yes, in the wild they do have access to a level of UV lighting. I think they're on Ferguson Zone 1 or 2. I've got a chart behind me that I'm looking at. Where is it? Ferguson Zone 2. So UVI between 1.1 and 3 for these. However, that's based on a normal morph with the normal morph colorations. Now, if you've got any tattoos like me, you know for a fact when you go out in the sun, the black part of the tattoos absorb the heat and really do quite burn in some intense heat. Is that going to be the case with the darker morphs of royal pythons, or are the lighter morphs of royal pythons going to need that little bit more? So I am nervous about doing it, but I'm just going to play on the side of caution and go with the slightly lighter one, and play on the slightly lighter part of the scale, the 1.1 UVI with him. But I'm trying to find a 4 foot enclosure that's a little bit taller than just a standard 2 foot tall, and it's going to be going behind me just here, or I can get Rosie into a 6 foot enclosure. But for me to get her into a 6 foot enclosure, I'm going to have to put Hugo into an 8 foot enclosure. So if I buy an 8 foot enclosure, then I'll have enclosures for all of them. Oh, my mind is so bad. I end up spending a fortune thinking like this. Oh, God, he's right in that water bowl again. Ah. He's so cute. I'll be honest, I don't do reptile Facebook groups. They're just too toxic. You can do one slight thing out of the box or out of what the administrators say is right, and you end up getting slated for it. And it's a massive confidence killer for anybody who's new to the hobby, and I just don't like that. So I tend to stay away from Facebook groups. And to be fair, I'm not even on Facebook that much. My personal Facebook is just literally pictures of my random walks that I go on, or if I've done like a filming project for a brand, I'll put that out there, and just a few bits like that. Hello, mate. Hello. He's so derpy. He's just going around in circles. He's got to be due a feed though. He missed his last meal, but I've not pressured him to have another meal. For his last meal, I tried to get it on camera, and I had the studio lights on him, and it was just all unnormal for him. So that's why I think he didn't feed. Let's have a look at the comments. Yeah, mealworm beetles are quite fascinating. I love to see them. The problem I've got is I've got no lid on my mealworm farm, so every now and then I'll get my little lad will go, oh, there's a bug, there's a bug, and it's a little mealworm beetle. I'm like, it is what it is, I guess. So what have I got to do now? That's done, that's done, that's done, that's done. Do you know what? I've just got a bit of cleaning up to do now. Oh, that looks amazing. See how it's just sort of settled at that level? It just looks awesome. I wish I could have it like that with the animal sat on that top perch just up there. That would look amazing. But I don't want to risk a respiratory infection for my most expensive pet. Do you know what I mean? It's just not worth the hassle. I've got a little enclosure. Little mantis den enclosure just here. I'm trying to think what to put in it, what to do with it. I want to do a build video, so sort of something. Oh, that new Verdesi when he grows up. Now I want to do something with it now, but I don't know what. I've got nothing that can go in it unless I go for. Oh, I could turn it into like a baby locust breeding farm. Oh, that's not a bad idea. What do you guys think I should do? Just a little front opening, acrylic enclosure with a fine mesh top. Stick insects. Wish. 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 Who said that? Wortho. Can it be done? Right, let's have a think. Can it be done? You know what? That's a really, really good idea. There's no way you can get out. The vents are microscopic, so we won't be able to get out the vents. It's got a fabric mesh top. Oh, see you later, Duchess. If I can silicone all the way around all the edges, then do the drainage, a small drainage layer, a fairly small substrate layer. Have I got any plants that could go in it? Because at the minute it's just on pothos and it doesn't really climb on it. I've got a little fern, but that could go out of control. I've got a little pothos over there. Oh, I've got a little weeping dew. Oh, what about background build? Because this is basically just his old enclosure. We're just going to be adding about 2 inches deeper to the enclosure that he's got. This is a good idea. This is a really good idea. Shall I do... So now, the only issue now, I've got to do a full background build, but I've got the ventilation there. So I'll have to either block that ventilation off, but then I've got ventilation on the front there and on the top. So it should have enough ventilation inside it. Oh, I'm going to speak to Leon from Mantis then and see if that's an applicable thing. That would be nice, wouldn't it? If we can do a full background build for Wish. Now, that is quite flexible, so I'll have to seal that in, retighten up some of them. That's a really good idea. Thank you for that. That's it. That's decided. That enclosure is going to be for Wish, our Chinese house gecko. Oh, I'm all excited for that now. Will it be our next video? Oh, you never know. But right, guys, I'm going to crack on with some work and get down the gym. So I thank you all for coming in on this video. It was just a quick one, just to say hi and stuff like that. So thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you all. If you have enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button. And if you're new around here, feel free to subscribe. We're always going to be putting out quite a few live streams from now on, just when we have got time, just like this, pottering around the reptile room. Thanks for coming in, guys. Peace out.